Welcome to another captivating... I forgot to finish my beard. Please hold on. Okay, beard, check. Fake mullet, check. All right, we have a lot to show you on the Jeep Vet. Let me tell you. We've got doors, extended doors. We've got hood hinges that are welded to the body. We've got another door, also extended. We have a bed that lifts up that will one day be on hinges. Did I mention we have doors that are extended? We have actual mirrors. We have an exhaust hitting the hood issue. Look at that nice flex there from the exhaust hitting the hood issue. No shutting. No shut. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are one step closer to painting the Jeep. What's going on, guys? I still have my hey. The last nut. How beautiful. Boom. This is nice, guys. Look, this is what it looks like when I get here in the morning. There's sunlight coming through this side of the shop and giving a nice glow. Fortunately, I was able to get myself out of bed. Didn't work super late last night, so I'm here early. So I got that ground down a little bit. There's still some touches I need to do on that. This side is all the holes are filled and ground down pretty good. The surface of the grinder is big and a lot of these holes are really small. So what I'm ending up doing is grinding down the surrounding metal, and I just don't want to make it too thin. So you guys all suggested doing hinges, right? Which is a great idea. And at first I was like, oh, that's brilliant, let's do it. And then I remember myself that we're gonna have down bars going from here to about this area right there. So the problem is we won't be able to hinge. Say the plate goes right there, okay? So I'm gonna cut this out, and then basically from here back, this line is gonna have to stay, and then this center piece and around that is gonna be another piece. So I gotta figure out how I wanna do that. The biggest limiting factor there is just I don't know what to do. Once I figure it out, it's gonna take 5 minutes to cut everything, but I just don't know what I'm doing yet. So that's where we're at. Quick little update. Some of this got kind of, I don't know. All right, that's where it's morning. Yay, bright sunshine. So not perfect, it meets each side pretty good. So I'm going to keep slowly tacking this, get a wet rag and lay it across the whole center. Okay, so that looks pretty good. The problem is it makes this stuff look worse. And fortunately, I actually thought of an idea before I even ground this down. So what I'm gonna do is basically cut another one of these out, but bigger. And it's gonna go from here, basically from this hinge point to that hinge point. And it's just gonna cover this entire thing. So I don't know how it's gonna look, but in my head, it looks great. Basically just trying to get these welds. I've re-welded this a couple times. I'm trying to smooth it out like this. If I can't get it perfect on this round, the rest is going to be up to Bondo. But well, the battery is going to go back here. So grab the battery, and it is like way too tall to be able to work with that. So then I thought, okay, cool, battery's still going to stay back here. So I'm going to get rid of this and then make a battery mount basically right here. So that'd be that much more weight in the rear for traction, and it'd be out of the way. And then we interrupt me talking because everything I was saying right here, I basically changed my mind except for mounting the battery down low. So I saved you the trouble of hearing me change my mind 6 times in about 4 minutes of me talking. You are welcome. I told you guys the next Jeep video, the thing was going to be primed. And then I thought of a bunch of new ideas. My buddy at our junkyard told me they had a Wrangler coming in, so I went and got these doors for it. I'm really excited about the doors. The lane part is I have to cut and extend those. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but I think it's going to look really good. It's going to kind of just help finish it all. So I'm going to stop talking and get to work. The water sound of draining my tank. Luckily, 'tis a beautiful day outside, so I can open my garage door to let out all the fumes I'm creating. It's supposed to be 70 degrees here tomorrow, which is somewhat rare. And then Monday, it's supposed to be like 20 degrees. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can. So this is my little creation. It's quite ghetto. Everything's welded underneath. It should be way stronger than it needs to be to hold a battery. And the whole goal of this was to get this to sit below the bed. And we have accomplished that. Quite nicely, actually. That will work. Actually went a little lower than we needed to, but that's fine by me. What took a little while is need to cut this out. So what I'm actually going to do later when we're actually ready to mount this is add another piece of this, which I should have done before I just did all that, but I'm not thinking. Add another section of that and then reinforce it on the bottom
so we can actually fasten it down, or because it's already welded in now, I might just do a tie down on the sides, but that and this back here should be more than enough to hold the battery. So that's what we're gonna roll with for now. Worst case scenario, in the future we'll add some more, but right now I just wanted to get that citramacated, and then I'm gonna finish welding that. Once that's done, we're gonna move on to the bed. Once the bed's done, we're gonna move on to the doors. Once the doors are done, we're gonna move on to the hood. Once the hood's done, we're gonna sand the whole car down. Okay, Garage Idiot fan base, you weirdos. Here's what we're doing. Here's why it sucks. Here's why it's better. It sucks because I'm redoing everything as I often do. It's good because it's gonna work better and it's gonna function on a hinge like every one of you wanted. The problem is we cannot have this whole thing on a hinge with the down bars going right here. So what I have come up with in my brilliant mind is we're gonna cut this section right there off, cut that section there off, weld those to the Jeep, and that will basically just cover the frameage, right? And then the center section will be on a hinge, and the center section will meet up perfectly with this section and that section because we are going to cut that line. So if I do mess up any squigglies, the squigglies will match. So that's the plan. The bad part is I was really proud of all these welds. If you did not see that, go to the other video. I don't know which one it was. They're beautiful, they're glorious. I have to cut those off very nicely as to not ruin what's left of the bed on this side, because that is all going to be welded. And if I'm being honest, I don't really like what's going on here. It was cheaply done. I was desperate for an idea, and that's what I created. So now you know what's going on. So I'm gonna start cutting stuff as I always do. So we've got a little bit of an indifference. This side needs to be cut at 5.5 inches. That side needs to be cut at 5, because when I welded 6 pieces of a Jeep together, it wasn't perfect. 5.5, 5 1/2, 5. So I've made an executive decision. This is never going to be very pretty. It's going to be really hard to get just all the metals all kinds of funky. So I think the bed, we're just going to rhino line, and that'll help hide all that crap. It's not something I really want to focus my time on. I'd rather work on the actual body and just fill all this with rhino line and call it good. So I will come back to, I'm going to do some sort of hood latch, like hood pin thing right here that you'll take off and then lift up, do a hinge right on the back of that. We're going to come back to this. I'm gonna try and figure out how I'm gonna do these doors. So I'm going to put the windshield on, but first I'm gonna take the glass out. So I told you guys I'd show you what happened to this. So I will show that, and then I'm going to try to remove this with a pair of gloves because, yeah. Round 1, I missed the windshield. Round 2, I missed the windshield. Round 3, nothing. I'm gonna try this whole spark plug. Okay, well, that's not working, so here's my sledgehammer. Okay, I'm done. Cut most of the inside out to clear that, and now we're gonna cut the whole door in half, which I'm pretty nervous because these are hard to come by and or expensive, so wish me luck. Some of you guys are gonna hate me, but it's okay. All right, so it is on. I had to do a ton of trimming, and I didn't want to cut it all off at once, so I just kept trimming little by little until it was good enough to fit. I did not think this was gonna latch, and turns out it didn't. Basically, the whole latch mechanism was hitting this, so I had to take it out to even get it to shut like that. So not too shabby. Definitely, so this is actually, I mean, the lip on this is very minimal. At the top here, I need to push that in just a smidgen. The whole middle section, I mean, there's basically no lip at all. So the Super Bowl has started, and I went to the gas station and get soda pop and some chips, and I just saw a couple running during the Super Bowl. Do you know how un-American that sounds? Darn you, Mickey D's. I spilt this on my hand, almost dropped my entire coffee in the morning. That would have been a bad thing, I tell you. I can't even put a lid on right. I was gonna be able to just break them welds off, but apparently I welded it too good. This has got to be cutoff wheel number like 7,900 for this project. I lost track. We have a lot of tedious stuff to do. So, all right, a lot of this, not that. That needed to be filled. I cut that out for one of my fender ideas. Not sure where I put that piece. I thought I kept that and that I cut out. So if this idea didn't work, I could put it back in. Instead, I did not keep them, and they are lost forever. So that took forever. I tried to get a little bit of curvature on that, which I did. This one sucked a whole lot because it bows out and then down and then kind of bows here, and it's not perfect. You're not even looking at it. I'm so sorry. It bows out here and there, and it took a while to bend it as close as you see it, and it's far from perfect. So that took forever. I tried really hard to do, actually the last 2 days, I have not filmed anything that I have done. I showed you little snippets of the doors. The doors took 2.5 days by themselves. I really didn't film much of that. Didn't film much of the hinges. I'm just trying to get as much done as I can because I'm just trying to move. So I haven't showed you a whole lot, but the doors, they're not finished, but they're finished. So I welded some sockets inside there like that. And I found this rod that me and Mina got at the junkyard, and we just thought, oh, we'll grab that just in case. And still needs a bit of tweaking, but it works. So same thing on the other side. Got some oddball sockets that I have never used. They are quite literally in my I don't use these sockets drawer, and did the same thing. Ta-da! Oh, yeah. This one the holes are really weird, so I gotta finesse this one a little more. That one's pretty decent. I just need to put some springs on them. And then, sorry, I'm doing a terrible job of pointing at where I'm pointing. So then on that slide bar, or on this, I'm gonna put a little L on it so you could grab it like this and just, this side's pretty good. So what I'm thinking, there's actually, to my surprise and sadness, there's one other person that has been crazy enough to put a Jeep body on a Corvette chassis. And it was also a C5, his is a Z06. I have no idea where the car is. I haven't seen it in 2 years. But what he did, he did a lot of different things we can go over if you care. The main thing I'm gonna talk about right now is right here. He just followed this frame line and just put diamond plate along this frame line, and that hit all that. Since our battery isn't there, that will work swimmingly. Because I like that, but I don't know what tire setup we're gonna do. So I really don't want to put fenders or anything on. I just want to hide that section right there. So I think I'm gonna use some cardboard, cut out some templates, and just see what it looks like if I just follow that frame line and just hide whatever is right there. What y'all think about that? Look okay. I can't decide if it's gonna be the same color as the car or just black. I probably will paint it the same color as the car, and then if I don't like it, I will tape it off and rattle can it black. And then if we ever want to go back, then I'll just wet sand the rattle can off, and then we got paint again. So that's to be decided, but I do like how that covers from the front. I really like it being red, just how it kind of peeks out like that. It's a little different in person. On camera I feel like it looks kind of weird, but I feel like it just kind of makes it look more connected. So that's cut out pretty well. On this side, this is where the old battery, sorry it's really dark, this is like the old battery box mount, so I'm going to cut that off so it's flush with the frame. Do the same thing, make a template on this side. This side we can go in a little further. That side we had the brake booster, so we had to cut that out and kind of stop. So this side we can cover a little bit more. So I'm going to do that, and we'll just keep rolling. So there is a small issue in duplicating that on this side, and that is the exhaust that I totally forgot existed. So long story short, not going to happen. I could cut around this stuff. I could, is my lens that dirty? Please hold. Shirt check. I could cut around it. This is protruding past this as far as that line goes. So I could do something right here, or since there's not a whole lot on this side, on that side there's the brake booster, a couple ugly little things. So since this side is clean, what I could do is just cut this battery box off, clean up all this wiring, and just make this area clean. What I could do is plate, cut some sheet metal out and plate the back of that, so that looks nice, and then just leave this open for turbo-ness and whatever we decide to do. Another random thought that you guys might be upset with me for, I'm slowly starting to not like this, so I'm gonna think about it, not in this video, but thinking about putting it under the car, sending it to the back, and then back here, relatively, let's see, I don't know if we'd go through the frame or not, but somewhere back here, preferably dead center, like on this line, I was thinking about doing 2 exhaust exits. You guys give me, or some of you give me crap for this. I really like my cars to not be obnoxiously loud. This is not bad. Still a little bit louder than I was hoping it would be. So if we do run it underneath the car, that gives me the option to put 2 mufflers, I'll split it into 2, put 2 mufflers in there. And then it'll still have a rumble, still gonna sound good, but it'll just be a little toned down, not like a factory muffler, but like a high flow, Magnaflow kind of thing, or whatever eBay I decide to find at the junkyard. So that's a thought, not doing that now. I addressed that because it was from this situation. So cut that off, clean these wires up, leave that like that for now. I need to do something for the bottom of this windshield. It's just super flimsy, and that kind of worries me. The concern I have is if I just plate it, I don't think it's going to make it much stronger without connecting all the edges. And then if we do that, we're not going to have the fitment that I took hours and hours of slowly trimming to get. That nice flat fitment, it'll set up like that, I guess. So maybe we should do that. Okay, never mind, answer my question. I'm gonna cut out a plate and it's gonna sit about like that. instead of like that, which is okay with me. So, yes, chaos. Sorry, thinking out loud. All right, guys, so got that cut out. A little bit of trimming left to do. I'm going to do with the angle grinder, just smooth the corners out and such what. Another issue with the exhaust. It was hitting the hood, so I cut that little section out right there. It is still hitting the hood very lightly, and I thought it'd be fine because it's below the, I mean, really it's sitting right at the Jeep there. So I thought I was going to be clear, but apparently not. Is cut this and just bring it in a little bit, and hopefully that in and down will get us the clearance we need there. Eventually, there's going to be a hole in the hood right there because I'm going to convert that basically into a turbo manifold. I just don't know how it's going to sit, so I don't want to just blow a hole in the hood just because this took, as ugly as it is, that took a good while, and it needs a little bit more tweaking, but that took forever to get that to match up, and I guess it's going to be gone anyways, but so pretty undecided on that. My brain is pretty fried. I'm at the point now where I'm critiquing little things. I haven't touched the windshield. I jumped around to everything else, and then I just started staring at this thing. So I'm going to call it here just so I can go home, get some rest, fresh start tomorrow, and just kind of sleep on everything. So here's what we have completed this round. So this was sitting a little cockeyed, so we got that leveled out. It's still, you can see how it's sloping down. The floor is just super uneven. I got it. It's a lot better than it was. I mean, from up here, can't really tell. That side's sitting good. We got these welded in. We got this cut out. So we're going to put 2 hinges on the back of that. I'm going to put a little handle right here so we can lift up. We got that battery mount all situated. Doors was a big part of this video. So still quite a bit of work to do on these. This was my first idea for a latch, and this is why you always tack stuff, because I thought that was going to work and it didn't, and it's fully welded. So cut that off. At some point I gotta buy, I'm almost out of that. Actually, that might be enough, but I'm almost out of that sheet metal, and eventually I will put a piece of sheet metal over here, cut out a little hole for a little lever mechanism to move that in and out. That'll be before paint, but this whole prep paint process is taking way longer than anticipated. The hood hinges, didn't really touch on this too much. So this is the original hole, so this spot should be here, but you know, the whole Jeep's widened. So just went ahead, put these on, got them nice and straight, eyeballed everything, measured everything 2-3 times, and then just welded them there. So worst case scenario, if we don't want to run a hood, we just take these off, and then we got flapping hinges. Don't care. This side of the hood is patched and needs a stupid amount of work still, but it's patched. Windshield, need to clean this up, do that plate underneath, fill that. I don't know how that happened. This really sucks too. This was nice and flat. Right here, it is sunk down. And I have no idea why. Like right here is a high point, or right here is level, and then this little circle right here has sunk down. So I don't know if I can if I pull this out, get underneath and tap it up, see if we can pop it back. This door, same as the other side. Yeah, I think I covered everything I did. Okay, so obviously there's still just actually a really stupid amount left to do that, you know, you just think, okay, we got to do the hood, we'll cut the trunk, add some doors, cool, we're done. Doors took 2.5 days, patching the hood, making that stupid little panel took all day today, doing the hinges on the hood took all day today. Just very, very time consuming right now, but we're getting really close. So like I said, I'm gonna go home and sleep on it because I have too many ideas and I need to sort them out. So next, I mean, gosh, we gotta be 3 videos away max from getting this thing painted. 3 videos max from getting this thing painted and done. But this is just, I think I'm doing better at showing you guys less of the tedious, stupid work and just getting stuff done. Like I said, I worked almost 3 full days completely off camera and didn't film anything. And then I just showed you little snippets of what I have done. So trying to make the videos a little more exciting, minus me rambling on right now because I'm thinking out loud. Mirrors, I don't really, I think they're too big. I know those are factory mirrors, but they just look kind of, they look goofy. I'm not really I mean, the only benefit is I'll actually be able to use them. I had Harley Davidson mirrors on here before and I couldn't see anything, but they're just to keep cops from getting upset with me. So the roll cage, I don't know what I'm doing with the roll cage yet. Fortunately, that can wait till after paint because none of that will interfere with the bodyworks. We can cut that whole thing out, weld it back in. It's not gonna hurt anything. But I have no idea what's going on there because I want to tie it into the windshield, blah, 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 blah. So thank you guys for being patient with me. I'm working as fast as I can, trying not to rush stuff, trying not to screw things up and do it over again. I'm really proud of the doors. I think they turned out really well considering my skill set. And I mean, everything's definitely coming together, but it's just lots and lots of little things. So I appreciate your patience. I just thank you guys for watching and supporting me. Yeah, we'll keep going. But oh yeah, also like a week and a half of the last 2 weeks was robbed because I had to hydrodip and then I had to do those wheels for PFI. And I'm glad I did both of them, but it just, I couldn't do anything else in the shop and that robbed a ton of time. So I don't know. I'm ready to have something that drives. Fortunately, it's freezing cold out and it feels like a long ways away from summer, but it'll be here before we know it. So I'm just trying to knock out as much as I can. Holly emailed me back about a sponsorship. No promises at all. It was simply a reply, but that'd be really cool because we could definitely use their help on some of this stuff. As far as engine management and intake manifold would be cool, but that would mean I have to cut a hole in the hood unless I get a low-rise one. I'm rambling now. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. I covered a lot in this video. Tips and tricks, tons of little ideas that still need worked on. Windshield, exhaust nonsense, exhaust coming out the back, just doors, everything. Just let me know what you think. I mean, it's cool. The hood sits up on its own now. That's kind of nice, but it won't shut on its own now because there's an exhaust in the way. So I have a lot mapped out in my head. I'm rambling like crazy right now, but just let me know what you think. Like I said, covered a lot. That panel not matched on the other side. The battery box. Wheel wells are pretty much done. I am going to rhino line. I might have already said this. I don't know. I'm going to rhino line the bed because this is all going to be so nasty that if there's not a thick, textured, flat paint on it, it is going to look absolutely horrendous. So that's the plan for back here. Not worth my time of trying to make this pretty just since it's so oogly boogly. So that's the plan for back there. Oh, I do have an idea for wheels. So I can do one of two things. That tire size, whoa, that tire size. That's about the sidewall I'm thinking about running. I like how it's a little off the ground. That'll give me some extra clearance when I do decide, So that means I've decided to put the exhaust under the car and out the back. So the rear is sitting a little lower now. What I was thinking is, so I'm missing one rear Corvette wheel. So I could buy one on the eBay and then put that like size tire on it. It'll just be like a massive truck tire basically on the rear with Vette wheels. Or I still have that wheel up front. That guy right there, I still have the option to buy those. I don't know what size they are. 19s, I think so I think these are the rears. So 19s on the rears, 18s up front, I think. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think. I don't even mind how that wheel looks. Like I'm not opposed, it's just this lug pattern is really hard to find stuff for. But point being, thinking about doing that size tire. I think it'll just fit the car a little more nice and meaty. So I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm done talking, I'm tired, I'm going home, I'm dead. Thank you guys for watching, appreciate you, and we will see you later.